I don't know about you guys, but the more that John Harbaugh speaks, the madder I get. And trust me, matter is a word. I looked it up today before I started filming this video. But every time he opens his mouth, I seem to get more upset or be more upset by the time he's finished speaking than from when he was starting to speak. Like, I think we can all agree, as Ravens fans, as diehards, that the offensive line has been a problem, is a problem, and will be a problem continuing forward for this team, no matter if they make the playoffs or not. We can all see that it's been an issue since week one, and I think we're not dumb enough to think just magically, after 12 weeks of the season, it's just going to be all better. John Harbaugh was asked about the offensive line in his press conference yesterday, talked about or was asked about maybe making changes going forward, and he gave a response that makes me question how is it even possible that he's the head coach of this team if he's still seeing the same things that we're all seeing. He said, you put the best 5 players out there, the 5 guys who are playing the best. That's what you do. That's not even a hard answer. Yeah, we're putting the best 5 players out there, and they're playing pretty darn good. None of our positions are perfect, but they're trying to be. We put our best group out there, and we fight. He said, and they're playing pretty darn good. At this point, the only thing that I can believe is that John Harbaugh put a bet before this season started on Daniel Fa'alele's over for games played. That's the only explanation because there is no way on God's green earth you can watch him play football and you can watch Andrew Voorhees play football and then come out and say they're playing pretty darn good. Don't believe me? I think this chart is a great little peek into the pressure that Lamar Jackson has been feeling this season from a literal standpoint. He leaves the pocket 29.5% of the time, but he leads the National Football League in leaving the pocket due to pressure at 67%. A lot of quarterbacks leave the pocket, right? But if you take the percentage of time that they're leaving it and why they are, he leads the NFL in time or percentage left due to pressure at 67% of the time. 2/3 of the time he's leaving the pocket is because he's feeling the pressure of the defensive line. And it's just frustrating because right now it feels like John Harbaugh is backtracking in a sense. Because I think we all remember after the game against the Texans, after the slaughtering against the Texans, at that point, this team was 1-4. And Lamar Jackson was hurt, and it seemed like there was no hope to be had. And he was asked, hey, thoughts about changing the offensive line? Obviously, that's an issue. And he said, oh, yeah, everything's on the table. There are guys that are in that area where they still have to prove themselves. They are the starters because they've earned that to that point, but you got to keep earning that. You can't plateau. If we're hoping for you to make more progress as a player and it's not happening at some point in time, somebody else is going to get a chance. And that's just the way it works. And yet nothing has changed. He said those guys are still in a spot to prove themselves. So, John, have they proved themselves? Is that what Daniel Fa'alele has been doing for 12 weeks? Proving himself to be a starter? He said if they don't do that, yeah, we're going to get somebody in there who will. And you haven't. And I get it. Myles Garrett is the best defensive player in this game. Hell, there's probably an argument that he might be the best football player in the National Football League. 4 sacks against the Ravens. That's a lot in one game, guys. That is a lot. Like if you look at the last 5 seasons in the National Football League, there are only a handful of players that have gotten 4 or more sacks in a single game. So, yeah, he's the best. He's awesome. But 4 sacks is still inexcusable, in my opinion. And, like, you look at where we sit through 12 weeks in the season, and the Ravens' offense has let up 30 sacks. 24th best. Bottom 10. 10.3 sack percentage, bottom 3. A quarterback pressure rate of 35.7. It doesn't feel like the 5 best are out there, John. It doesn't feel like that. And I'm mainly talking about the guards, and I'm mainly talking about your right guard. It's like every game we get these clips of Daniel Faalele just getting absolutely embarrassed. And you see it right here against Cleveland. Looks like he's in good position. And then he just gets hit with the classic Reggie White hump move. And he gets pushed so far backwards that he gets turned around and he gets pushed 3 yards to the side. And of course, he finds himself in the position he always is, where he gets turned around and he is looking at Lamar Jackson. Like, guys, what would you do if I started a video and I was looking this way? Would you be confused? Would you think I was good at my job? I would hope you wouldn't. So why are we giving that excuse to Daniel Faalele, who finds himself in that position every single week? Like, how is it possible to be that bad and then to have a head coach who doesn't see a problem with it? I think that is my biggest thing. You think the offensive line needs to change? If you do, show me. Like the video, okay? Please, 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 if you think something needs changing and if you agree with me that this offensive line has been horrific, hit that thumbs up button. And like at this point, obviously, I want to see this team win. So that's why I want the offensive line to do well and to be good. But also, like, I'm kind of concerned for Lamar Jackson's safety at this point. And if you don't believe me, might I remind you what Dallas Turner did to Daniel Faalele and then to Lamar Jackson when they played Minnesota just about 9 days ago? Here he is against the right guard. It's not a hump move this time. It's a rip move with a little bit of bend. He gets around him and then automatically has an open lane to Lamar Jackson where he destroys him, rams him into the dirt, and that is your season right there. If he takes too many of those hits or if he takes one of the wrong hits in that situation, guys, this year is over. It's done. And it's because of Daniel Faalele. 54.4. That's his overall PFF grade. That's the 57th best guard in football. Run block grade of 50.6. That is the 63rd best guard in football. I'm just ready at this point. I'm so ready to give Emory Jones Jr. his shot. And it makes sense of like why he hasn't gotten it yet. He started this season off hurt. Then he just got to practice about a month ago. And pass pro, started ramping up. He couldn't do that because of the shoulder surgery. But now, like, he's been practicing for a month. Give him his shot. It can't be worse. And, like, if there's a game to start Emory Jones, it's against the New York Jets. Just do it against the Jets. They're not going up against Quinnen Williams anymore. He's in Dallas. Don't believe me? He got 1.5 sacks last night in his debut against the Las Vegas Raiders. You got no Quinnen to worry about. They don't have a good defensive line. If he's ever going to be an answer in the year of 2025, then get him in soon so he can get some in-game reps, some in-game practice, get used to the speed of the National Football League before the better defensive lines ramp up. If we could get Baltimore's schedule engaged, that'd be great. Thank you. Because you're going to be playing some really good teams coming up with some good defensive lines. You'll play Pittsburgh twice. You'll play New England. You play Green Bay. Like, guys, those are good teams you're going up against with really good fronts. If you want to be ready by the time that happens and those games roll around, get them in now. Who do you think should start? Emory Jones or Daniel Faalele? Type EJ or DF for me in the comment section down below. Weigh in with your answer. And while you're getting down there, I got to tell you about our awesome sponsor of today's video. The reason you're watching our show for free is because our great friends over at PrizePicks. The hard-hitting football action is even better with PrizePicks. The weather might be changing, but the feeling of being right never gets old. So keep the season rolling on PrizePicks by getting $50 instantly in lineups when you play your first $5. Follow other PrizePicks players directly on the app and copy their lineups in one click. Whether it's a friend, a celebrity partner, or just someone whose picks you like, hit the follow button and check out every lineup they create in the new feed tab on PrizePicks. On PrizePicks, how you play is up to you. If you want flexibility, choose flex play, where you can get paid even if one of your picks misses. And if you want the biggest payouts, go for the power play. No matter your play, Prize Picks is a great way to put your takes to the test. Here's my Prize Picks lineup for Sunday's game against the New York Jets. Give me the more on Derrick Henry, 86.5 rushing yards. I feel like it's going to be one of those games where you're going to the king over and over, and I think he has an awesome game to kind of continue the role he's been on recently. Give me the less than Lamar Jackson, 218.5 pass yards. Not because I think he's going to have another big bad game like he did against Cleveland, but just because I think this one's going to be a blowout. You're not going to be throwing the ball that much. And give me the more on to Rod Taylor, 181.5 pass yards. Download the Prize Picks app today and use code CLNS to get $50 in lineups after you play your first $5 lineup. That's code CLNS to get $50 in lineups after you play your first $5 lineup. The link to this promo is in the comments and description of today's video. Prize Picks, it's good to be right. Before we get out of here, got to update you guys on something we updated you about yesterday morning, and that is the health of Steelers quarterback Aaron Rodgers. He had to leave Sunday's game against the Cincinnati Bengals with a left wrist injury. At the time, they were thinking it could be a fracture, which could put him out anywhere from 2 to 5 weeks. Well, Steelers quarterback Aaron Rodgers underwent further tests Monday that confirmed he won't need surgery on his fractured left wrist. That's from Tom Pelissero and Ian Rappaport. He's pushing to play Sunday against Chicago, but obviously doctors must clear him, and his status moving forward is to be determined. Now, I'll tell you this. I would be a little bit surprised if he plays against the Bears, just because Pittsburgh looks at Aaron Rodgers similarly to how every single team looks at their quarterback as their meal ticket. If they're going to win, it's going to be on the backs of QB1 of Aaron Rodgers, and they're not going to want to risk anything. I feel that way, but it's not going to be long-term. Like, if he doesn't play against the Bears, I've got all the faith in the world that he's just going to be able to play the week exactly after that. And they've got a pretty big stretch of games coming for them. Right? They play Chicago, then they play Buffalo, Baltimore twice, the Lions in there, the Dolphins who have been playing some good football. They're going to want their quarterback back for those games because right now they're at the top of the AFC North. Only by a game. They're starting to make things interesting, but they're not going to want Aaron Rodgers to sit for long because they've got a pretty good spot in that playoff picture. Right now they're at the number 4 seed, but they know if they start losing, they could be where Baltimore is right now, which is out of the playoff picture, not even in the wild card. Now, that might make you feel hopeless as Baltimore Ravens fans, but at the end of the day, guys, you're at a spot where you never really thought you would be. After starting the season 1-5, you control your destiny. You don't need to count on teams to lose. You don't need to count on teams to win. You get to handle the winning yourself. And if you beat Pittsburgh twice, but you still get to play them twice. If you beat Cincy twice, if you beat Cleveland, if you take care of business down the stretch, you're going to win this division. It's still in your hands. Who do you think wins the AFC North? You let me know in that comment section down below. Light it up. Give me your answer right now. Make sure you got me followed on social media as well. At Joey Peterson on Twitter and on Instagram. And make sure you're subscribed to the channel. That's going to do it. Gage and I are going to get off, get this pushed out, get some lunch. And then we'll be back with another video tomorrow. And then, of course, we're going to be live, as we are every single Wednesday evening, afternoon, 4 p.m. Central, 5 p.m. Eastern Time. So I'll see you tomorrow morning, and then I'll see you tomorrow afternoon.